So again, a view is something that is used to expose a portion of the element store, or expose a portion of the storage to the clients. There's a couple things that a view does. Number one, it defines where within the element store this data is located. And we use a hierarchical traditional file system method of representing where that data is stored. Now, the element store itself isn't a traditional file system for that. It behaves much different. It's much more rich and complex than your traditional file systems. But for ease of use, when we're exposing views and things like that, we use a file system or in a directory-like structure to expose those. So along with that as well, we will define within a view the protocols that are going to be used. So we can share things out over NFSv3, over NFSv4, over SMB. For Windows clients, we could share this out as an S3 bucket for that. There's other types of views out there, like a database view that could be used, and eventually coming up with a new version of 5.3, which is going to be released here very shortly, we're going to be able to do block storage as well. So when we go through and we create a new view for this, we get asked a few questions. We get asked, what is the tenant this view is going to be from? What is the path that this view is going to be put into? And then depending upon what questions or what protocols we want to support, we may have other things that'll pop up. Like, if it's an SMB, I need to provide an SMB share. If I want to do S3 with this, I'll be asked what the S3 bucket name is going to be. And then we'll have, along with that, a policy name. And we haven't talked about the view policies yet, but we get to select which view policy we wish to use. And there's other things in there, like a quality of service and things like that. For net new views, we're going to go through and create a new directory. A view, another way of looking at a view and why we'd have to create a directory is a view is really like you were exporting a file system. We can remove a view, and that doesn't delete any data underneath it. We can export it out again if we choose to do so. We can also do things like have nested views with different rules depending upon where you're doing them out. So again, I did kind of go already iterate through all of these here to describe on which one of these are. So you're not going to repeat this slide here. We can also go through, and there's certain things for different protocols, as I mentioned, that are relevant. So for things like SMB, we would define in here our our SMB ACLs, our share level ACLs, which will govern, what the some of the controls on accessing the views for SMB specifically. Or in the case of S3, we have some other features that we can go through and turn on specifically related to S3, such as maybe we want to do S3 versioning, or we want to make use of S3 object locks. Or things there. But these again are going to be, we're going to be able to go through and select these as part of the view, depending upon the protocols that we wish to export things using that.